Hello and welcome to Coding Architecture 2. In this video, I'm going to show you how to get started with the tools and the installations that are required for the course this semester. Just like before, we are going to be working on Python and using the Compass framework. What is different this semester is that we are going to use a C Python 3.9. So the installation is actually a bit easier. The tools that we're going to use are the same as before. We use Rhino, we use Visual Studio Code, which is somewhat optional, and we use Git to update the content on your computers every week. Let's begin with how to set up Rhino and Grasshopper. The installation has changed significantly from last year's. So I'm going to open Rhino. And Grasshopper. There we go. So instead of having to install Compass from outside using an installer or anything else, now we can directly use the functionality of Rhino 8 to install Compass from within. There are two steps or two parts that we can use. I will start with the fundamental one that we will need for everything. I'm going to start dropping a scripting component. We can choose Python 3 script or script, and then we would need to choose Python 3 here. This is a new editor. It's a much improved over the previous versions of the script editor in Rhino 7. And the fundamental difference is that it runs Python 3 and no longer Iron Python. Among the many things that are changed, it's that we can use something called like a requirements syntax. We start our script saying we are like required colon Compass, and then we can define a version name like greater or equals greater than 2.8, for example. We can also define a virtual environment, which is unlike the one that we use in the past, but is somewhat a similar concept. Virtual environment, I'm going to say CAFS through semester 25. That's actually all that we need to install Compass this time. That means that right after we can say import Compass, and we can print something. I'm going to use a new syntax that is called F strings that were mentioned in the refresher video. So we can say hello, Compass, and then we should see which version of Compass we're running. Okay, if I run this, it will automatically install Compass if it's not already installed and run this line. So you see that when you click play, it runs through the installation process and it finishes and it's done. And then we have Compass already installed. So this already like hugely improves the installation time or reduces it. This is the fundamental part. This is mandatory. We have an optional extra step that we can take if we install the Grasshopper components here. It's only for displaying objects, but we can use it. We're going to start the package manager of Rhino. And we're going to search for BlueJ, which is the code name of the Compass's components here. So we're going to install this, install, apply, and then Rhino needs to be closed and reopened. After we have reopened, we can use the components like Compass Draw that we were using last time. These are the new versions of the same components. Okay, we are done with the Rhino install part. Let's move on. So now we have Compass installed on Rhino. We also installed the components. And now we can set up Visual Studio Code. This is somewhat optional. You could technically skip it, although it's like highly recommended. This class is a more advanced one, and then if you use VS Code, you will be able to leverage a bunch of additional tools that otherwise would not be available. You need to start by installing Visual Studio Code from the website. You probably have it already. And then once you have it installed, I'm going to start it here. Here we And we need to also, if we want to make use of some of the more advanced features, we can also run through this process of installing Compass outside Rhino so that we can use it in VS Code. Again, this is optional, but it will help. So if at all interested, please follow the steps. Open a terminal on your computer, either Mac using the terminal or on Windows, the Anaconda prompt. That will show something like this. Sorry, I will switch to it now. But once we open the terminal, we need to create a conda environment, which we will do just typing this line. I can do this here. I can type this line in my terminal, and it will start creating the environment that it's outside running. So we will actually end up having two installations of Compass and all the tools. One that we use in the actual work and the exercises that we do, and a separate one that will be used only in VS Code. It will help with autocomplete. If you use AI tools like ChatGPT or GitHub Copilot, it will have access to all that information. So that's it. We're ready with this. I can now go back to VS Code. Make sure if this is the first time that you install, it's a clean install on your machine. Make sure that you install the Python extension. And once this is installed, we are ready to begin. We want to get a copy of all the course material, and we are going to use Git for this. So we don't just download it. Of course, it is possible to just download it, but it adds more work on your side to every week have to re-download the new assignments and details and whatnot. So we use Git, which is this very established tool in the software world to synchronize files. Git, you probably have it already installed. If you don't, you can get it online. On Macs, this is pre-installed. On Windows, it's not, so you would need to download it. But if you took Coding Architecture 1, you already have it. You download it, you install it, and then what we need to do is what is called cloning a repository. This is basically synchronizing initially the code of one specific repository, Git repository, in this case, the one for coding architecture to this year. The URL is this. I will copy this one, and from VS Code, I can click like either in the first or the third tab, depending on your system, clone repository, paste this URL, choose the location that I want to download this to. For example, here. And I'm done. I can open it. Yes, trusted authors. And we're ready to start reviewing or using the material and synchronizing. Every week we will synchronize by clicking this button right here. It is important, you can also say yes to this question. It's important to select the right Python interpreter if you plan to run also code here, although this will not be necessary, but we will do this so that the autocomplete is accurate. I will press Control Shift P or Command Shift P and then type Python interpreter, select Python interpreter. And from this list, I will search the environment that we just created, basically, the CA FS25. It's the thing that we created with conda just a minute ago. That sets up our work environment so that I can start typing Python code in here as well. And it will have all the context, all the libraries, all the autocomplete features, as well as you will have access to using Copilot in here, for example. Um, that's it. So now you should be ready uh, to begin. Everything is set up. So see you at class very soon. Thank you very much.